Okay, we're gonna hope that stay up there like that. What's up, tribe? This is gonna be your review for the season finale of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Hallelujah, we are at the end. Okay, we know we got 3 weeks of a review coming up. Of a reunion coming up, but that's all right. We'll get to that when we get to it. So I'm going through my notes. I'm still down here on vacation, going through my notes. So we start this episode off. We see Scrappy and Bambi are having a party to introduce their new business ventures. And I won't say new because I thought Bambi was doing hair for a while. She's doing hair extensions or bundles or what have you. So she's got her hair company, and then Scrap is starting his own record label. And he has a new single out the faucet, pour from the faucet, something like that. The video, I just saw the video a few minutes, like some clips of the video on his Instagram. So they were introducing their new, their new business ventures and stuff like that. And a couple of conversations went down at the party, and it was like a casino themed party, and so that was fun. We see that the girls are talking to Kendra, and Kendra is admitting that she does miss Jaceel. However, she got to let him know that she's not going to accept certain things, and if she got to learn to live her life without him, then she's going to learn to live her life without him. And Bambi once again reiterates what she said to her at the cabin, like, look, if you let them think they can get away with it, they're going to get away with it. Kirk and Rashida end up, Scrap sort of separated himself from the party, and Kirk and Rashida end up going over to talk to him. And he's saying, look, things are going really great for me, but he's having survivor's guilt. And I shouldn't even say survivor's guilt because his friend survived, but his friend's injuries are way worse than his. His friend literally almost died. And he said, Casino was my man. It was an accident, but it was through no fault of his own that this happened to him. And I just really feel some kind of way because he hasn't really reached out or talked to him. Again, I think it hit the blogs or hit the news that Casino was actually suing him, but he's not really suing Scrap. He's suing the insurance company. I mean, that's what happens. People get in car accidents and the insurance don't cover all the bills or may not cover all the bills. So there is a lawsuit pending, and maybe that's what sent Scrap to kind of be standoffish. Maybe it was the survivor part, him feeling guilty that, he fell asleep at the wheel. It wasn't purposefully done, but it's one of those things where you say, had we taken an Uber instead of, me trying to drive? He said he wasn't drunk, but he was just tired, which, I'm sure they tested his blood to see if there was alcohol or drugs in his system. So that didn't hit the news. So it must have been just him really just being tired and probably should have not been driving behind the wheel that time of night or what have you. So he says, so Kirk and Rashida said, look, you need to talk to your friend. Like, if he's really your friend, then he'll understand. And y'all need to just talk and work this out. We do see later on in the episode that he does meet up with him in a church. It was so funny. Like, it was just so, y'all gonna meet up in a church, like, for real. But they talk, and and Casino basically says that he said, look, I understand that it was an accident, but what hurt me was that you went radio silent. Like, that's what hurt me. What hurt me was that I didn't see you, I didn't hear from you. Like, I get it that it was an accident, but where were you? And Scrap apologized. He said that he did feel guilty and that he felt, it was hard for him to sort of kind of talk to him because he felt some kind of way. And they dapped it up. Guys can make up way faster than women. They can compartmentalize. I don't know if it's healthy or not, but they can move past shit so much faster than women can. And that's what it looks like. That's what happened, because I want to say Casino's in the video. I want to say I saw him in the video for Lil Scrappy's new single, but it could be just another black dude. I don't know, but I thought it was him. Anyway, the girls are also talking. We see Sierra. We see, is it Carly, Mimi, Ty. I think Ty is there, and I'll get to Mimi, Ty in a minute. But Sierra lets the ladies know that her and BK are back together, and of course they looking at her like, what? He was the worst thing. Oh, and Rashida's there too, because Rashida was like, when we left the cabin, and Sierra said, look, we got our ups and downs, but he's taking me to for my birthday, he's taking me to Paris. And again, if you follow her on Instagram, they were in Paris living a good life, and BK was all in the picture. So they went to Paris for her birthday, and I guess they that couple that break up to make up kind of couple. Carly ain't really saying. Carly's still kind of, I don't know if it's storyline or if it's legit Carly was going through something, because Carly just ain't herself. So I don't know. Ty and Mimi. So Ty is still feeling some kind of way about this whole Stevie J situation. Mimi told her to leave it alone. She said, you know, I've been dealing with this man for forever. You're not going to win. He's an idiot. He's an imbecile. You can't out immature him. So just leave it alone. Let us just keep doing our thing. Don't engage him. And Ty's thing is, I just can't let that shit go. So she was telling Carly that Mimi doesn't really want her to talk to Stevie J, but she's gonna talk to Stevie J anyway. And we see them do meet up at basketball, and of course Stevie's ego, I guess, thought he could beat Ty, and Ty ended up whooping his ass, and then he gonna try to say, well, I wasn't really paying no defense. Two things. One, whether you were playing defense or not, she whooped your tail. And if you were playing defense, she whooped your tail. If you weren't playing defense, that was stupid of you not to be playing defense, because y'all were betting on who won the game. And basically the winner of the bet had to apologize to the other person. So Ty ends up winning. Stevie J is supposed to apologize. Ty doesn't say anything to Mimi because she just wants to surprise Mimi when the apology hits social media. Well, when the apology hits social media, it's classic Stevie J, passive aggressive. I apologize, but just keep, just don't come out your name wrong. Don't come out your mouth wrong. Watch your neck. Just real passive aggressive. I won't even say passive aggressive. It just wasn't an apology at all. I'm sorry, something popped up on my screen. So Faith, Mimi, and Ty sit down for and Stevie J. They have a sit down to basically, I guess, try to clear the air and clear it up. But Mimi is already on 20 because she mad about the little bullshit apology that Stevie J posted on social media. Faith is sitting there like, what'd he say? What'd he do? Well, I know he could be a little immature. Stevie, that's wrong. Stevie, don't do that. And Stevie's being Stevie. He giving you a good Stevie J scene. He's being ignorant. He's being disrespectful. And it ends up turning into a big ass argument where Faith is, because finally Stevie, because Faith was sort of siding with Mimi, like, this is not an apology. Like, if you had done this to me, I wouldn't take this as an apology. So now Stevie feeling kind of, he in his feelings because he like, you supposed to have my back. You siding with them. And, Faith is like, well, right is right and wrong is wrong. Like, if this is right, this is right. If that's wrong, that's wrong. So he telling us, I'm leaving. Faith like, you can't leave without me. He get ready to walk about the house. They end up leaving, and on his way out the door, he was like, both of y'all want to suck my dicks. Faith was like, what is wrong with you, Stevie? But she knows who she married. Like, she is not in denial. It's not like Kendra, where she gonna pretend like she ain't never seen him on this show, or pretend like she didn't know how he acted on this show. She was even on the show with him a couple of times and told him, you being immature, you being stupid. I will say this, on the Stevie J meter this season, he was a 2 out of what he could possibly have been a 10. And I'm going to attribute that to Faith. I believe that Stevie J really is happy with Faith. I believe that he is still on this show for contractual reasons, that he really has no interest in. I think he's just past all of this, and I think he did just enough of what he had to do to fulfill his contract and to not burn a bridge with Mona. But at the end of the day, I think if Mona were, I believe that Mona probably pitched it to Stevie J. Faith may not have been interested. She's done the whole reality show thing, and maybe she just wasn't interested. But I believe that Mona probably pitched another spinoff to Stevie for him and Faith to kind of have their own thing. And maybe Stevie doesn't want to do it anymore. I don't know. Maybe he really truly wants to protect his real private life. But neither here nor there. We got a little bit of Stevie at the end, but again, it was a 2 out of this whole season. It was a 2 out of a 20, well, really out of a 10, I should say. Anyway, so that was them. And again, y'all know this is the finale, so we tying up stuff. We tying up storylines for the most part. Sierra, Spice, and Akbar meet up in the studio. Now, Pooh was in the studio. Akbar said that, her and Pooh cool, and Pooh been hanging out in the studio with her a lot. And she was like, she's sort of giving her the side eye, like, I don't know why you always here, but, you married to basically my boss, so I ain't gonna have a whole lot to say, but I'm not really sure why you here all the time. Like, you don't have nothing better to do. But see, her and Sierra working on their song and everything, and it sounds like it's gonna be a nice song. I'm interested in hearing it. I like Spice, I really do. Spice ends up bringing Sierra. Was Che Mac there? Shay Mack was in a couple of scenes this episode. I think this might be the scene where Shay Mack was in it, but neither here nor there. Let's just go ahead and skip to when Akbar and Sierra end up making up. Um, oh no, rewind. The first scene we saw Akbar was with Pooh and Che, and they were telling Pooh let the whole Carly thing go. Like, look, it is what it is. Sometimes in friendships, a reason, a season, a lifetime. Sometimes friendships just meet their end, and clearly you and Carly's friendship have hit their end. Like, just let it go. Just let the shit go. So that's what that scene was. But then we see later on, we see Akbar and Spice working on their song, and Spice invited Sierra so that Akbar and Sierra could apologize. And Sierra says that she apologized. She said she realized that she really was wrong, and rolling up on Akbar the way she did, talking to, throwing some stuff out there about the kids, and storming her meeting with her Harm and Stevie J, and they apologized. And Akbar was like, I'm accepting her apology because we got history. And here she go. I know under all that Maybelline and makeup, I know she really got my back. So it was cute. I'm glad they were able to clear that up and make up, because they do seem like they have a real history that goes back again beyond the show, before the show, and they really do know each other. So I'm glad they were able to clear that up and sort of make up. Sierra says she got some dirt on Pooh. I'm not sure when she said this, y'all. I told y'all I'm out of order. I'm just writing my notes. But she said she gonna hold on to it. And again, if you follow all of this mess on social media, she kind of threw some of that dirt out at the reunion. I'm not gonna say what it was now. We're gonna wait till the reunion and talk about it. Shay said that she finally got her bag right again. She said she called and apologized to Carly. She realized she was wrong, and Pooh wasn't happy to hear that she apologized to Carly. But Shay was like, look, at the end of the day, what I did was wrong. It was fucked up, and at the end of the day, I got hurt more than she got hurt because it fucked up my bag. So yes, I apologized. Sometimes you just gotta be the bigger person. Of course, Pooh was looking at her with the side eye like, whatever. I ain't never gonna be the bigger person. We know. Scrap DeLeon is opening up. He talked about opening up his restaurant, so he's having a little taste. And it's gonna be it looks like it's some sort of like seafood tapas and fusion type thing. He had like kebabs, and he had deep fried lobster tail and that kind of thing. And he invited the fellas over to kind of do a tasting, and Che Mack. And we found out that Kirk is going to open up the bistro. They're having a soft opening. They call it a pre-grand opening. It's a soft opening when you invite your family and friends and just get the kinks out and make sure everything is everything. And whatever you need to fix, you fix it before the real grand opening, where you invite, industry and, invite the public or what have you. My sister's a chef. I've been to a few soft openings in my life. So, looked like the food looked like it was pretty good. Everybody gave him some good feedback, and that's when we found out Kirk is getting ready to open up his bistro the next week. Scrap said he can't come because he just bought a house and he's moving in. He's got King full time, and he said I'm a full time dad now. I can't be running the streets like that, so I'm not gonna be able to make it. I apologize, even though you came here to support me, but I got you. I'm gonna support you at some point. Jock is there, but Jock is like, look, I'm here with the fellas, but I just ain't feeling it. He ends up leaving, and Lil Scrappy runs into him in the parking lot and tells him, look, man, I got some good news for you. He said, Bam just told me that at the party the other night, Kendra was talking about she missed you. So you got a door, man. You got to open it up. You got a door. You got to figure out how to work it out. But she misses you. So all has not been lost. So, of course, that gives Jock a little bit of pep in his step. And he's going to figure out what he's going to do to try to work this out. So we get to the grand opening of the Frost Bistro. Again, looks like a nice little spot. I might hit it up when I'm in Atlanta if it's still open. Y'all know how this stuff goes. But it looks like it's a nice little spot, and everything is everything, and all the people are there. Y'all know how that goes. Shekinah rose up on Jock and says, look, I feel terrible. I really feel like this is all my fault, because had I not went back to Carly and told Carly what was going on down at the shop, none of this would have got back to Kendra, and you wouldn't be in this situation. She said, you trusted me to help you out with the shop, and I sort of kind of created a bigger problem for you. What can I do to help? Jock was like, if you really want to help me, I got something you can help me. He said, this between me and you can't tell nobody. She was like, friend, I got you. What you need me to do? So they working on something, right? We'll get to that in a minute. They working on a little something. I think is that it, y'all? Before we get to this last little piece. That's all I got in my notes. So I guess that's it till we get to this last little piece. So Shekinah picks Kendra up. She says, look, I'm taking you to a masquerade party for a friend of a friend of a friend. And they put on their mask, so when they get there, you know, Kendra recognizes a few people, but not so much. You know, not nobody that you would think is out of place. Then here comes Jock. So Kendra is like, why are you here? Shekinah playing, oh, I did not know he was going to be here. I would not have set you up like this, friend. Jock, what are you doing here? It was cute, though. It was cute. And so Jock was like, look, at the end of the day, I know you didn't want to see me, but I need to let you. Sorry, y'all. I should have put my phone on Do Not Disturb. That was actually James Caldwell calling me. I'm going to call you back, James. I'll call you back in a minute. So we're at the last little piece. So I'm going to finish this up and then I'll call James back. So we're at the proposal. Oh, damn it. I gave it away. But Jaceel said, you know, I love calling him Jaceel. But he said, look, you know, Kendra, you know, every day that you're not with me, I'm getting further and further away from my goals and what I want to do in my life. He was like, I just, you know, I know what I'm ready for. I know I'm ready for you. And she was like, but Jock, you know all the stuff we dealing with. You know what's going on. You know what's going on in our world. And he was like, yeah, I know that. He said, but look around you. Everybody that's here, I've asked for, he said, everybody take your mask off. I've asked for everybody here for their blessing. And we see that Kendra's family is there. Her mom is there. And of course the crew, you know, the Love and Hip Hop crew is there. And when she turns back around, he's on his knee with a ring. And of course he asked her to marry him. She says yes. And then they go off to the side and have a conversation. And she tells him, look, are you really ready for this? She said, because at the end of the day, I'm not playing this game with you. And let me say this. Do I think that Jock is really, I really think, again, I don't think this is storyline. I think he really loves this woman. I think he really is ready to settle down with her. However, we would need to have a better conversation, because again, if you really truly felt like he was doing something he didn't need to be doing down at that shop, to the point where you done moved out the house and you wouldn't speak to him and you done blocked him and everything, I get it, the whole you don't want to embarrass him in front of everybody. Yeah, I'm gonna say yes, but we need to have some real conversations, which they may have done, because that first conversation was valid. Kendra really did talk to him and break some shit down to him. But I'm happy for them, because again, if you follow social media, they still together. She's still flashing that ring. It's a pretty ring too. But that's pretty much what went down. I'm sure we're gonna rehash some shit. And oops, what am I doing, y'all? I'm tripping out here. I'm sure we're gonna rehash some shit. It's gonna be a whole bunch of mess going on with the reunion. But for time being, it was a good little ending. And you know how they do the little ending piece. Everybody said their piece. I ain't gonna go through all that, because it ain't nothing. You know, everybody's happy. Shit, that's it. Carly's still going to, the only thing that was questionable was Carly's going to still do in vitro. They're going to still fertilize the egg, but they're not going to insert the egg until her and Mo are in a better place. And of course, we know they broke up, so I don't know what happens to the egg now. Carly, are you going to still have the baby? You going to destroy it? Maybe they'll talk about that at the reunion. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.